Hello y'all, this is Red Flood, a mod for Hearts Mind 4 that takes place in a world where no one country was truly able to emerge as the victor of World War I. We're going to play as a country referred to as the Tuareg Free Territory, which is located in Africa. We begin with three national spirits, and they are total statelessness, clan military, and Saharan slave trade. Do be aware this nation is in a state of all-out anarchy in terms of government structure and whatnot. Our army is one division of tribal militia, which is mostly cavalry, but there is a few infantry battalions in its template. Looking at our military tech, we have up-to-date weapons and motorized, which is a little surprising given the circumstances. But moving on, we have no armor to speak of, however we do have basic artillery and fighter airplanes. Let's begin the focus tree by doing the Free Territory, eternally fighting clans, unshakable faith in Allah, Saharan slave trade, former French rule, and shifting sands. Are present in the Free Territory, slavery is extremely common, and children, apparently as their tradition, receive some slaves after becoming teenagers. This dynamic has resulted in a lot of class tension between the slaves and the nobles. Besides that, there's a third group consisting of European explorers who spend their time driving around with fancy French cars, creating paramilitaries, and teaching the local Tuaregs about futurism. Many of the Hausa in the country are seeking equality, but they have yet to find a capable leader who can unify the many clans and tribes of the Hausa and the Songhai peoples. Accelerationist, take Madagascar. That makes the Malagasy state the second accelerationist country in Africa after our ditty Ethiopia, I think. I could be wrong though. There has been a bit of a folktale in Niger about someone referred to as the Unifier. This individual is real though, and they have been trying to make the various cliques and clans in the territory get along in an attempt to, say with me, unify the country. The Songhai and the Hausa have found a charming politician to rally around, and this could potentially lead to a takeover of the country, but we will see about that. The Frenchman Raymond Kush has been seen gathering his fellow European explorers and adventurers who may try to seize power for themselves. He has no respect for the local traditions and wishes to do away with the current society and replace it with a new one based on adventure and bravery. News from around the world: there is a Persian civil war and Avant-Garde France is invading some place in the Low Countries. Good for them. Shifting sands. We got a showdown between three men and three different sets of ideals. We could choose to have a sandstorm come in and wipe everyone out, but no, we are going to go with Kush, who will manage to kill all of his enemies. With the faction we want now on top, we are going to complete two focuses, which are named the Wrath and Man from the Future. Imperial Japan won a civil war, and speaking of countries in Asia, it appears that there is a gigantic Korean Republic and a tiny Korean People's Republic, the latter of which will most likely not exist for much longer. The Wrath focus is finished, and because of that, we have become the state of tomorrow, which has his very own flag, and also Raymond Kush and his accelerationists are in charge now. Kush historically was an explorer and mountaineer. In 1935, he took part in an expedition that would be in the general area of the Tuareg Free Territory in Red Flood. In summary, during this expedition he climbed a mountain no one else had at that point and officially discovered some caves. Later in World War II, he was an officer in the elite Chasseurs Alpins mountain infantry unit. Let's continue the focus tree by doing all that is inside the state belongs to it. Planned economy with no economy. We are something new. Esoteric practices. Chosen of Jabrail. The Black Order. Raiders of Tomorrow. And crush Escadron influence in the military. The Whites faction is victorious in Brazil. This means Red Germany will be deprived of a major ally in any future wars to come. The Persian Civil War in the Middle East is over, and it looks like the more conservative side won. Let's see what conflicts are going on in the world. We got the Spanish one, which always happens in Red Flood, something in China, the Imperial Authority being double-teamed in Mongolia, and the Orenburg military district being hopelessly outmatched in a 2-versus-1 war. A focus gave us political power. We're going to use it to justify a war goal on our neighbor, Upper Volta. Before we go into the negative zone of political power, we made sure to get a commander for our military while we still can. Raymond Kush and a few of his followers perform an esoteric ritual on the top of a mountain where they will, quote, become a beacon of Artaud's mind. Artaud refers to the leader of Avant-Garde France, Antonin Artaud. From reading this event, I gather that Kush sees the French leader as something like an all-powerful messiah figure, or at least something to worship. To the south, the Prussian Congo has declared war on the Congolese Republic. In the Middle East, Syria is pushing back a group of Zionists, and Assyria has decided to make the wise decision of fighting two countries at the same time. We are on our way to having a military factory constructed, which will be terrific because at the moment, we have none. We are at the end of our focus tree, or at least close to it, because we need to complete the realm of Kush. With that said, we are going to avoid starting that focus for some time, and by doing so, we will eventually get the political power we need to attack Upper Volta. We got ourselves a military factory at long last, but sadly I didn't realize that because our stability is so terribly low, we can't produce anything at the moment. The state of tomorrow is back in the positive zone of political power, so we can now continue justifying the war goal we started earlier. Besides that, I am really going to be counting on the future Raiders' national spirit to give us the edge we need in the upcoming conflict. Belarus, a fellow accelerationist nation, invites us to a futurist chess tournament. Sure, we'll send someone. After much waiting, we are going to declare war on the progressive-led Upper Volta. I think both sides each have only one division. With that said, we are going to try to avoid a direct confrontation, and instead we will go for all the enemy's victory points in order to win this fight as fast as possible. We made it to the peace conference. Now it is time to annex everything. Our recent victory has handed us a surplus of infantry equipment. We will arm the 3 new divisions we are training with these weapons. The state of tomorrow is expanding west, so unsurprisingly we're justifying a war goal on Mali, and maybe after that we'll invade Guinea. Something happens in the Caucasus region, but more importantly we have no manpower, and we want to fix that, so we're going to set our conscription law to limited conscription. The Prussian Congo continues being aggressive. If they somehow defeat 3 more countries, they will actually control all of the Congo. Our military factory has started making something, and it has gone into overdrive by almost producing a whopping 4 guns a month. Not so convenient for Mali, but it is for us. All of their important cities are near the border we are attacking from. We are going to go there and try to invade the Asafal territory of Mauritania, which was basically formed by a bunch of people who left the good graces of Avant-Garde France. I'd say it makes good sense that the Antonin Artaud fan, that is Raymond Kush, will be the one to deal with them. The Prussians did it. They managed to unify the Congo. The Asafal have a lot of motorized, which some may say are faster than the horses we are using. It is for this reason we have made a fallback line that will hopefully force our opponent to overextend themselves. 1 division got annihilated, but it's fine because the plan worked, and now we are taking advantage of an opening that was made in the enemy's defenses. That's another victory, and thus more land to add to the state of tomorrow. In Europe, France declares war on Germany, and among other things, the French are already in a war with the Italians, and the Germans are in one with the Austrians. Italy beat France and took some territory. Also, Fiume is dead. Continuing with our growth, we are marching into Guinea. We have a numbers advantage, so this should be over quickly. The only truly independent country left in West Africa is the Land of Liberty, Liberia, and we are going to attack it. Checking in on the situation in Europe, it turns out France is not winning the war. Using the classic fallback line tactic, we are going to lure the Liberians out into an area where we can more easily encircle their forces. That is that, and now we are going to do the Realm of Kush focus we have been putting off for a long time. We are going to unite with France, but we will still maintain our autonomy. We are to help France at all costs. Due to that event, the state of tomorrow became a puppet to a country that may not exist come tomorrow. This has to be one of my finest moments. The video is going to end here. If you enjoyed the mod, check it out in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment because it helps the algorithm recommend the video more. Have an awesome day. I'll see you later. Bye.